So in today's video, I'm just going to give you my thoughts of my time in South Dakota. I was seriously impressed with this place. Honestly, didn't really know what to expect when I got here, but super happy I had some time to spend here. My trip started by coming in on the east side of the state, and I came through a town called Watertown, which didn't know anything about. I just thought, hey, good place to start. Wasn't the best place to start. Kind of just drove through. I used the gym there and just continued on my way. From there, I headed to Miller, South Dakota. I found a city park there that allowed you to stay up to 72 hours in their campground. I ended up staying 3 nights there just to kind of chill out, relax a little bit, and recorded my first video there. About 20 minutes away, there was a state recreation area that was called Lake Louise. So I took a trip out there one day, and it was quite nice. It was definitely a change of scenery from most of South Dakota in that area because it's so flat and so dry, and then all of a sudden you come up on this lake and there's a nice forest surrounding it, and definitely a change of pace for the area. The roads out here are just crazy. Everything's just in squares, and the roads just go on and on and on and on and on. But it was definitely fun to check out and just explore there for a few days. After Miller, I went down to Pierre. I thought it'd be neat to see the capital there and just see what that town was like. So I ended up staying 1 night there. While I was there, I hiked around the La Framboise Island. I'm probably not pronouncing that right, but it was definitely a neat hike and a lot longer than I expected, but there's a lot of history there of Lewis and Clark's journey through that area right along the Missouri River. So it was definitely a neat place to check out. After Pierre, I headed to Midland, South Dakota, because I had heard about this hotel called Stropel Inn, and they had hot mineral baths there. And it just sounded like a weird place, and I like finding places like this that are unique and strange. So I did make a short video on it. You'll have to check it out. I'll leave a link in the description below. But not much to do in Midland other than go to the Stropel Inn and sit in a hot mineral bath, but it was neat to pass through. After Midland, I went down to Wall to explore a little bit. I had never been to Wall Drug before, so I just had to check it out. And if you know anything about this place, it's just strange. You see signs for miles and miles and miles advertising Wall Drug and their buffalo burger and their homemade pies and free water and all that good stuff. I was also really curious. I found the deluxe restrooms, and I'm gonna tell you right now, these deluxe restrooms are nowhere near as nice as the regular restrooms. So if you see the sign for the deluxe restrooms, just go to the regular restroom. You'll be much more impressed. After Wall, I headed down into the Badlands National Park, and I spent 3 nights there exploring. I also made a video on Badlands National Park, which I'll leave a description for down below as well. But it was a cool time, but not cool. It was extremely hot. Definitely worth a stop, and I met some really cool people on the way. Shout out to Jackson for my fur coat. That's where I met Jackson at, so pretty much the best thing I've ever been given. After the Badlands, I wanted to drive right to Hot Springs, but I didn't think I had quite enough fuel to get there, so I went up to Rapid City first and got some errands done up there and fueled up, and then I went down to Hot Springs, which was only about an hour from Rapid City. I made a cinematic video about one of the reservoirs out there. You'll have to check it out. Also, a link will be down below. But it was just a beautiful area and definitely some neat things to check out in the Hot Springs area. Also met some really cool people down in Hot Springs while I was staying there and ended up hanging out for a few days while I was there. So the last day I was in Hot Springs, I met some people that were also going up to Wind Cave National Park the next day, so we all decided to go on a hike together, and also made a video on that, which you can find in a link down below. Unfortunately, the cave is closed, but the hike was still really nice and almost got ran over by a bison out there. After Wind Cave, I headed up to Custer area, where I spent about 4 or 5 days just kind of checking out the area and checking out some things in Custer State Park. There is seriously some great views out there and so much to do in Custer State Park. You could honestly spend your week vacation at only Custer State Park and be pretty happy. I drove through the town of Custer and then a little bit farther north to Needles Highway because I wanted to check that out. So I stayed one night not too far from Needles Highway itself and took the bike and ripped through Needles Highway a few times, which was super fun. If you like riding a motorcycle, you gotta go rip that highway sometime. I also hiked the Black Elk Peak Trail, which is the highest point in South Dakota, and that was a very nice hike and very nice views up there. After my time there, I headed up to Rapid City again for one night just to get a few things done in the city and pick up some stuff from some stores. And then the next day, my brother and some of my friends came out to visit me, and we made a super fun video at a place called Hippie Hole. You'll have to go check the video out. After that, I went up to Silver City area where I spent 2 nights, and I did some dirt biking, worked on my van a little bit, had a few things to change. To touch on dirt biking, there is seriously so many dirt bike and ATV trails out there. There's a nice variety of trails, all the way from very dirt bike specific trails like this one you're watching right now, all the way just to forest roads that are nice and smooth gravel and you can just fly on them. So whatever you want, you can kind of find out there. These trails were challenging. I was very sore by the end of the day. And granted, my bike is a little bit heavy to do trails like this, but I thought I'd still try it out. Only dumped it once, luckily. After that, I headed up through Spearfish Canyon to Spearfish, stayed there one night, and then I started heading out of South Dakota. So obviously, I kind of did a straight shot through and just spent some time in the Black Hills area, but I was pretty impressed with South Dakota. There's definitely a lot to do here, and for me, coming from Wisconsin, if I ever go on a week or 10-day vacation, I would honestly come back here because it's only about 10 or 11 hours from home. So in a way, I almost don't want to recommend you go there because it's really nice that there's not that many people that go to South Dakota compared to a lot of other places. So all I'm going to tell you is I really enjoyed my time there.